Hello, everyone. We're now live on YouTube, and everything has officially begun. And before we start with the talks, I just wanted to have a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit about the things we've been up to, and obviously to thank you all for coming and tuning in. First of all, I wanted to thank some very important people. Most of all, Falmouth University, which is where we are today, of course, their lovely Games Academy, and the Metamakers Institute, which I'm technically a part of, so I guess it's disingenuous to thank myself in some ways, but it's mostly people like Simon Colton, people like Mark and Ed, people like Sven and Rob and Blanca and Heidi, who's still working behind us. But to be able to be in this awesome facility and to have you all by the beautiful seaside today, and to have done all the stuff I'm about to tell you about is all thanks to them. We're also indebted to itch.io for continuing to support us and adding all these beautiful features and making sure that people know about us. They're an amazing website, and if you're not on there, you should be. I also want to tell you that we are part of a celebration of games and art this week. That's why PROCJAM is here this year. And if you haven't caught the exhibition that's in Falmouth right now, the Games as Art, Art as Games exhibition, it is incredible. It's at a place called the Poly in Falmouth along Market Street, I believe. Yeah. Yes. I think if you continue the main high street along, you will see it, and it's wonderful. They have original sketches from studios like Amanita Design, who made Machinarium and Samarost. They've got the original models from State of Play's Lumino City, some original artwork they commissioned for the exhibition itself, and it's fantastic. I went there yesterday, and it's just amazing to be part of this kind of event. Yes, so it's still open. You can go there. Probably, yeah, open all day tomorrow, and there you go. So if you're hanging around, or if you live in Falmouth, or if you're leaving London but maybe still here tomorrow morning, do pop in because it's just fantastic. Last year we had our first art pack, and we've continued this year thanks again to the funding that we received here. We got two artists on, Tess Young and Chalkius. And we had our first 3D art pack and another 2D art pack, which means we have over 1,000 art assets that are broken up and ready for people to use for free in their procedural projects. And it's been great. Like, teachers have been telling us they've been using them, people use them in their jam games, people use them all throughout the year, and we hope you get some use out of them, even if it's not for the jam, even if it's for something else. But they're incredible. So go to procjam.com/art for that. I also wanted to announce that Seeds, right now you can go to this website, procjam.com/seeds, and get the first issue of our zine. And Jupiter, I know you're recording this, but if you could just stand up so that everyone can see you. First of all, I want you to thank Jupiter, because Jupiter edited and put together the whole zine. So if we could have a round of applause for her. I just want to tell you how we came to work with Jupiter. The first year, Jupiter covered every single game from PROCJAM on her own on her YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/JupiterHadley, just in her own time, because she does it for all these jams. Then in the second year, we said, this is ridiculous. You should be on board with us, and you should come and be our official media person. So we got her on board. And then this year, she put dozens and dozens of hours into putting together this 100-page zine that is full of contributions from the whole PROCJAM community. And I just wanted to say thanks, because you've been really great. So thank you very much. Everyone go and download this and read it, and go to our website and everything. So thank you, Jupiter. And needless to say, I'll be gushing on Twitter about this later, but thank you to everyone who sent things in for Seeds, because it is incredible. It is really a wonderful thing. So, Jam, starting on the 5th of November, partly for my own mental health. There's a little break between the talks day and the jam itself, but also so that we could keep our schedule in the busy jam calendar of the year. We've got that start of November slot. But if you've not entered PROCJAM before, we're super laid back. You can start early, you can finish late, you can bring old code, you can copy off someone on the desk next to you. Nothing matters. Just come and be a part of it and make something that makes something. Before we start the talks, I'm probably over time, but I just wanted to say a couple of words. Normally at this point during the opening, I announce the theme for this year. But this year's been a bit different for procedural generation. It's been probably the biggest year for generative stuff in games so far, I would say. And a lot of it was down to one game in particular, No Man's Sky. And everyone just wouldn't stop talking about it. And all of you have had, you've spent the whole year being told what procedural generation is by journalists, by people like me. We've been quoting and writing blog posts and hot takes on Twitter and opinion pieces. And a lot of it hasn't been very nice, and it's been a very stressful year, and it's been a very negative year in many ways, and it's been a very difficult one. And I just wanted to say, because Inez came and spoke at the very first PROCJAM about No Man's Sky. Oh. Because Ines came and spoke about No Man's Sky in the very first PROCJAM, I just wanted to remind you that Hello Games were a small group of people who had their idea for what procedural generation was, and they went and they made it. And even though the whole year has been other people telling you what procedural generation is, I wanted to remind you that PROCJAM is about what you think it is. And so there is no theme this year. There's not even an optional theme, because all I want is for you to go and do whatever you think you should be entered into this jam. So that's all of that stuff done. Thank you all for coming and tuning in and being part of this. And I now get Gabriella up here to give our first talk. Thank you very much.